everybody, and welcome back once again to the very first interview of the 2016 season. I'm at Oakland High School, and I've got across the table from me the head coach of the Oakland Patriots, Coach Kevin Creasy. Coach, how are you?
Doing well. Thanks for coming back, Stork.
Well, I appreciate the phone call. I tweeted out to all the people that we work with throughout it, and I asked them, if you want to talk this week. I know it's kind of a discombobulated week. We've got Jamboree on Friday. You're scrimmaging this afternoon. You're still trying to get a few things in before we kick it into high gear, because I'm sure Sunday all the high schools that do participate in the sport of football will start their routine of Sunday film review and getting ready for the first game, and then walking on through it. So, all right, so let's pick it up. Let's go over a little bad news, then we'll fast forward as fast as we can. The last time you and I saw each other, I guess, was it was the fourth round of the playoffs. We were in Maryville. We got an L hung on us. We put our helmets and equipment and cameras and gear and put them in the car, and we left Maryville with a loss. And they went on and played in the championship. We put our stuff up, and now you went through spring ball. And how was that?
It was good. You could tell a difference in our kids' mentality. I think some people say that you don't get anything good out of a loss. I disagree with that. I think you learn more from a loss than you can a win. I think the game in Maryville actually did us some good. Unfortunately, I wished it was in the regular season instead of the playoffs. And taught us some good lessons, taught us where we are and how far we got to go. But real quality football team. We left there knowing that we obviously had to step up a notch. Those guys do a great job over there, and because of that, I thought we had one of the best off-season weight programs going. I thought our guys did a great job of working. The numbers are through the roof. It just shows what kind of effort they put into it, what kind of time they put into it. And then, of course, had some scrimmages in the spring. Ray County coming off a great season, and then Knox Catholic coming off a championship season. Did a great job getting to practice with those guys, compete with those guys. I wish they were a whole lot closer. Got a good relationship with both their head coaches. I wish they were closer. We'd work together more often.
Well, it sounds like in the tone of your voice, instead of you trying to tell them to grow up, they knew they needed to grow up. So it was kind of like, the motivation, you didn't have to give it that much.
Well, we got several people returning from that team, so it makes a difference whenever you're on the field and you receive the loss. It kind of sticks with you. It's not one of those things you just talk about.
Yeah.
They know about how they felt when they left the field, and they don't have to be reminded about it. And because of that, I think their initiative and work ethic has even improved beyond what it was last year.
So 90 degrees, it's been for like 60 days in a row. You started two-a-days about, 45 days ago?
No, we started two-a-days probably that third week of July.
Okay.
We're finally got acclimated to the heat a little bit, and TWA does a good job of letting us wear a helmet for a little bit.
Yeah.
Helmets and shoulder pads for a few days, and then full pads. And so, we had school starting up, so we didn't spend a lot of time in two-a-days, but, we did do a good job of scheduling some different kinds of opponents, those kind of opponents that have a variety of defenses, a variety of offenses. And we've already had 3 scrimmages, and we're having our last one today.
And so, of those, of the scrimmages you've already had, what are some of the things that you're just like, gosh, we're so much better at doing this than we were a year ago?
Well, we did lose some key cogs in our offense. 4 out of 5 offensive linemen lost both tight ends. So we've been working more on throwing the ball around a little bit. I think we're throwing it better. I think we're protecting the quarterback pretty good. Got some guys that can catch it. It's not just Jacoby Stevens out there catching bombs. We got some other guys that are weapons as well. And then, of course, we do have a stable of good running backs. Our experience is with the secondary on the defensive side of the ball. So we're throwing a bunch of people in on the defensive line, lost a lot of good D linemen. It's a kind of a work in progress. We've got experience at places, and then we have guys that have zero experience that are expected to get a lot of playing time this year.
All right, let's just take it right through it. Offense first. got a seasoned quarterback coming back. You got a seasoned, of course, everybody knows about Jacoby. Let's take those two out of it. Now you talked about those missing holes, so let's talk about who's going to be filling those gaps.
Well, when you first think about it, we lost a big 6'2", 250-pound fullback through graduation. It's going to be one of those deals where we're going to have to put a sophomore in.
Yeah.
But he's about the same size. His name's Mookie Wilson, and had a great freshman run. And after their season, we promoted him on up, so he got to practice with us. So, it helped toughen him up a little bit. We still got to get him going more in the right direction, kind of get him to
a little more north and south instead of east and west.
Well, just kind of, not play as a sophomore.
Right.
We've got to grow him up a little bit.
Yeah.
And so we're expecting big things out of Mookie, and we expect him to play right away. We've got some sophomores that we're counting on. And we had some juniors that played a little bit last year, played a lot of JV ball. And we're fortunate that we had enough talent where we had some guys that got to play a lot of JV ball that were sophomores that we were expecting to play a lot this year and that are juniors. So
that worked out.
So it worked out good. It worked out well, and you can tell a lot about a guy, even in a JV game, as opposed to just practice, because they're out there by themselves and how they respond to the good and the bad that happens to them. We've got some guys that we can really count on this year, and expecting big things out of. But like I said, we'll see when the rubber hits the road. There's still a big difference between JV and varsity. So,
right.
So there's a question of the unknown. Scrimmages are nice, but at the end of the day, I think we'll tell a lot about our team after the Jamboree.
So how many new guys that have actually never played as far as a Friday night lights will be on that other side of the ball?
On offense, I think we got about 6 guys that are going to be brand new to varsity and to the offensive side of the ball. And then we probably have about 5 guys on defense.
So it's about the same number. So move on into defense. Just take it right on in and talk to me a little bit about your defense.
Well, defense, we really have some good defensive players, some really good tacklers. Really good defenders. But with some depth issues, we got some guys that are having to play both sides of the ball. Jackson Cawthon had 150 tackles last year, but he only played middle linebacker. This year he's going to have to play a little bit of tight end. We just had some injuries, had some people move out on us, and so we've had to put our best 11 on the field.
Yeah.
And Jackson's a good ball player, smart kid, able to learn it pretty quick, and so Jackson Cawthon will end up going both ways. We got Chris Almomir, we call him Sap, Little Sap. He plays a little bit like Sap on the defensive line, but now he's going to have to play some offense.
Yeah.
And that's what we didn't really have to deal with a lot last year, is our front 7 on defense playing on the offensive side of the ball. But we've kind of sold out and just said, look, we're going to put our best 11 out there.
You got to.
If get injured, it's just like it was meant to be. It's part of football. Hopefully we can get to the playoffs relatively healthy. But there's certain parts of our offense that are going to need guys that have only played defense. Caleb Oliver played about 4 snaps of offense. One of the 4 was a touchdown reception.
Right.
Well, guess what? He's going to be playing a lot of offense this year because, we have a need.
Yeah.
And like I said, he came to me about it. That's what you like, You like unselfish players that could just be like, well, I'm a Division I safety. I think I'll kick back and get ready for my college career. No, this guy wants to win at the high school level. He wants to win with his teammates, and he wants to contribute. And this guy's gone down there with the offensive line and blocked.
That's cool.
You don't see that every day. He's in there blocking. Everybody likes a pass thrown to him. And, of course, we're throwing some passes to him. But he's down there with the O-line, getting dirty with them, getting his nose in there and blocking people. And it's all because he's worried about the team instead of his own personal goals. I can work with people like that.
Well, and you know what? That you can't coach that. It's either you got it or you don't. You can encourage it, but you can't coach. You can't coach motivation. There's just no way. It's not been done. Special teams. What are we looking at?
Special teams got 2 great kickers.
Do we?
I don't use the word great very often. A lot of
You came out really.
A lot of these guys, on offense, defense, they feel like they're great already. I feel like I'm here to humble them a lot. Put them in their place, but our 2 kickers are stellar. They get what out of what they put into it, and they have invested a lot of time, a lot of effort on their own. They've gone on their own, and they've done the kicking, late at night without a coach around, and they've been to these camps.
That'll win you some ball games.
They've been to camps, and they've learned from guys that were professionals, guys that went to the next level, and probably learned a whole lot more than what I could teach them. So we're really happy with our kicking game. Got a long snapper. He's a little undersized, real small guy, but let me tell you, there ain't nobody around. I'll put him up against anybody in this county. I'm getting that thing back there, getting it in a great spot for a punter to catch the ball,
Awesome.
a holder to catch the ball, and his clock time, ain't nobody gonna beat him.
Three things got to happen on that extra point or on the field goal at any time: snap, hold, kick. I mean,
That's
there's three execution. All right, so we've talked about the team and everything. Let's talk about changes here at Oakland High School. I pull in, I see the new Big O, and then I saw on Twitter new helmets, and just talk about some of the changes that the kids experienced as far as some of the things that you've done here in the last 365 days.
Yeah, a lot of this may not have anything to do with wins and losses.
No.
We've done a good job of promoting our brand. Hopefully, our brand will result in wins. We're not saying that a big 20-foot O on our indoor will increase wins, but it does get our players excited about what's going on here. Our players are excited about our new design helmet. Our coaches have kind of put their thumbprint on what we're doing around here. We love the tradition that Oakland's had, and so we've thrown it back, old school with our helmet decals, even went white helmet. It's been a long time since you've seen a helmet color change around here. I think they were silver back in '98, so it's pretty interesting to see the different types of helmets and the logos throughout the years. And this one's going to be identifiable with the 2016 team.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a kind of idea of what last year's looked like, the year before. Like I said, '98 is pretty recognizable because they had a lot of success. So, like I said, we're trying to get this thing going right. We spent about $20,000 getting our field fixed. We tore it all to pieces. Of course, we'll have, a middle school JV game, a middle school varsity game, 2 soccer games. We'll play a game, we'll throw out our JV, they'll have a game, we have youth football playing on it. And the traffic on our football field is incredible. And so it needed the maintenance.
Right.
We spent a lot of money on side and resurfacing all the way down the middle of our field that was just tore to pieces around the playoffs. And in our practice field as well, we got a lot of the stuff that the winter killed, where we had some low spots and it froze and killed the Bermuda. We've now got, a surface area, and that's just like equipment. We buy the best equipment that they make. We're worried, about concussions and injuries, and I'm telling you, you can get a concussion on the field. You can get a concussion because of the field. You can get injured, a career-ending injury because of your playing surface. So we feel like it was a good investment to throw $20K at our practice field, at our game field, because these are people's kids out there. I want my kid to be as safe as possible. I wouldn't want them in junky, helmets or junky equipment, and I wouldn't want them playing on junky equipment or junky fields. And so, it's a big investment, but it's an equipment investment because that's what our kids are playing on, and that's going to keep them safe. And so we've put a lot of money into our field, put a lot of money into, shining this place up a little bit, getting the, like I said, a 20-foot red O, shines, all throughout the night. And it kind of, puts a stamp on Oakland football in Oakland, Tennessee.
That's great. Let's talk about coaches changes. Have you had some coaches changes? We added anybody new?
Yeah, we've had a couple coaches that have moved on. We were really happy to have them last year, and unfortunately they've gone on with different, moves.
Excited to move on with their new adventure. They're moving on. They're moving up.
Our special teams coordinator actually took a job at Georgia Military as the special teams coordinator. So this guy, he's working in college now, living down in Georgia. And,
great.
Coaching up some D1 talented guys, and we'll send them on to bigger schools, and like he loves his new role. And because of that, we had to replace a couple guys. And we do. We've got Sean Corbett.
Okay.
And Kyle Shoulders.
All right.
Have taken Coach Snow's place. He was our offensive line guy. We've moved Coach Edie to full-time offensive line instead of splitting with somebody.
And he can handle that. He's ready. He's ready.
He's ready. You know, did a great job as a player. He's come along as a coach, and he's going to do a great job this year. But with Kyle Shoulders, he has kind of our offensive side of the ball type special teams.
Okay.
You know, our PATs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Our kickoff returns.
Yeah.
Those are kind of offensive. And then Sean Corbett is our defensive type guy that helps with the defensive special teams, like kickoff. You know, kickoff is the first play of defense.
Right.
I mean, that's your first play. And so, Coach Corbett, he comes highly recommended. I actually coached against him when he was at Friendship.
Okay.
He helped Friendship Christian a lot, and they won 2 state championships that we felt like we could have won. But he did a great job against us. But, you know, he has a college background where he coached at Lambeth and he coached at Cumberland. And when I first heard of him, he was coaching at South Carolina. And,
Wow.
yes, so he's got experience with the Gamecocks. He does a great job with our special teams, but he's also helping coach our safeties. And then, of course, Kyle Shoulders, I got to coach against him. He was a coach at Macon County when we had a big rival when I was at Trousdale. And then he went on to Red Bullin, and I respected the way he did things. And he was a head coach, so he helps me with a lot of the head coaching issues.
Yeah.
So, you know, good coaches are hard to find, and we feel like
Good people are hard to find too.
we feel like we got good people, good coaches. What's amazing is our staff gets along so well. You know, there's no egos. There's nobody that's, you know, got their personal agendas. Nobody stabbing each other in the back, and, you know, there's no talking behind each other's back. You know, it's amazing how well we all get along, and we had a lot of continuity and kept a lot of the same people from last year. So we were disappointed that we lost the 2 coaches that we did lose. But like I said, we've gained 2 good ones, and should keep this thing rolling.
Alrighty. Let's talk about Friday. Of course, you go off last for the Jamboree and everything, and go get to play Laverne for 2 quarters. And not the same old Laverne that when I first arrived in '98. That they will be, and I'm sure they're going to want to make a statement because y'all not going to be playing each other in the regular season. But I'm sure both teams, you and State, will keep it as vanilla as possible. But hard to tell a kid to go 75, 65 miles an hour. So I'm sure they're going to be geared up and ready to go. So they'll go 100.
Well, you know, you look at some of the prospects that Laverne has and some of the prospects that we have, it makes for a great matchup.
It does.
You know, I think that game alone will be worth the $5 that you're paying for a Jamboree ticket.
Absolutely.
You know, unfortunately, we're playing at 9, 10, 11, whatever time it finally kicks off. We're playing last, but that's good. Maybe the best game is last.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great matchup. Last year, it was 0-0 forever. You know, we just kept battling each other, and they hit us on about a 4th and 28 and scored. And so we actually lost 7-0, but it was a battle, you know. And these kids, you know, they all know each other, and they want to battle each other. So I think it'll be a hard-hitting game, even though, you know, we're talking Jamboree, we're talking dress rehearsal, we're talking vanilla.
Yeah.
But Coach Stevens, I tell you, I have great respect for Coach Stevens.
Absolutely.
You know, we don't play each other, so I can brag on him a little
Yeah.
bit. You know, he does a really good job, and he's done a good job at all the other schools he's been at. And like I said, you know, it's pretty easy for a coach to recognize a good coach, and I recognize him as a good coach, done a really good job. And like I said, I think the Jamboree, the 9 o'clock game, will be a great game to pay attention to.
Well, anything else you want to add? Let's not forget the big classic. So I want to give you let you talk about the big classics because that's your first game. We won't talk about your opponent and tell you your opponent is. I mean, we won't break that down the next week. But go ahead and talk about next Saturday because it's going to be a lot of fun over at Floyd Stadium.
Well, I'm telling you, you know, our office staff does a good job. You know, they're in there selling season tickets, they're selling parking passes, they're selling Jamboree tickets, and they're selling Middle Tennessee Classic tickets. The tickets at the Middle Tennessee Classic right now are $10. You can get them at Riverdale, you can get them here, you can get them at John Jones Real Estate Office for $10 because they're going to be $15 at the gate. It's a doubleheader, it's a big ordeal, $15 at the gate. So if you're one of the first few hundred guys to get there, it's only $10 for a doubleheader. And like I said, it's going to be a great venue. MTSU, has got a great setup, a great venue. We want all our people there. I know Riverdale is going to do a great job of packing the house. If we could just get all the people that were at our Riverdale Oakland alumni game in the middle of a rainstorm, if we could get those people there, the place will be packed. I'm telling you, that just shows you the support. We have really good support. Riverdale support is out there.
Riverdale's always Riverdale. People don't realize that. It doesn't matter. Riverdale is Riverdale.
Well, let me tell you, Riverdale is really excited. You know, they've got them a good head coach.
I'm going to talk to him this afternoon. I'm looking forward to it.
Coach Creasy actually played for me, sort of. I was a young coach. It was like my third year coaching. And so we were big buddies back in the day. You know, I was that coach that always, you know, kind of put my arm around him and told him what all he did terrible, you know. And the thing about him is he had a twin brother that was on the team.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, two of the toughest dudes on the team played 5A ball for
And they're both coaching.
for Henry County, and they were both 155 pounds playing linebacker. And both of them would blow their shoulders out, you know, just trying to hit somebody as hard as they could, and just determined and hard working. And that's the kind of thing that everybody's excited about at Riverdale, is they've got a coach that is over there that's got, you know, everybody excited again. They got some, you know, players out, and they're really excited, and rightfully so. I think Coach Creasy and his brother are both going to do great at their job that they're at. And for us, that means that he's going to bring out a lot of people at the Middle Tennessee Classic. There's going to be a lot of Riverdale fans. There's going to be a lot of Ooltewah fans. I think Oakland and Northside are going to bring crowds. But again, I think the general public in the Rutherford County area, you know, including Sumner, Williamson, Wilson, I think Warren, all these surrounding counties are going to come and check out this ball game because it's on a Saturday night. You know, there's only 2 high school games on a Saturday, the 20th, and we're one of them. And everybody kind of wants to see what Oakland looks like this year. Everybody wants to see what the new coach at Riverdale's doing. So I think it's a great opportunity for people to see 2 of the Rutherford County schools playing good competition at MTSU, at a great venue like MTSU. And we want to thank MTSU for having us again. You know, they were a great host last year.
They were.
And, you know, it's something we want to continue. You know, maybe next year we may make it a Friday and Saturday night deal and get everybody in the county possibly.
That would be great. That would be great. And then everybody's got their time, and then, you know, everybody feels like we all had a hand in on it, and, you know, everybody gets a chance to see each other, you know.
Right. That's right. And, you know, like I said, it would just increase the amount of people that are watching. So I think it could be a big deal, and it's definitely good for our county. It's good for Middle. It's good for our schools to get to showcase a little bit away from everybody else. So I think it's a good deal, and I think it's going to be a lot of people there.
Well, I can't thank you enough for supporting Judy and I. As I've told you before, we're going to be doing something a little bit different this Friday night, and it'll be the first time we've ever gone live with a broadcast. So we're a little bit nervous. You know, a lot of pressure on us, but I've experimented with it. I've messed with it. And I've come up live several times, so I know how to do it. It's just the question is, it's like you said, when we get there to the venue and everything gets going, we just hope everything works. But we'll see what that does.
Well, I'm sure it will. And then, of course, are you going to have it where people can pull it up later?
Well, yeah. No. Once the is done, it'll go away. And the reason being is I will make sure that it'll go away. So you will see it live through YouTube and Facebook. But the minute the broadcast is done, it'll go away.
Well, if you are able to get to the Jamboree, you need to go to the Jamboree. But if there's some reason, maybe the heat, maybe you don't need to get out that late at night, then surely you can tune in and watch.
Yeah, I think I think
it's good for like grandparents. You know, I think it's good for relatives that live far away.
Exactly.
But if you're within driving distance or 20 miles, you know, we're 20 minutes from Blackman. But if you're within 20 minutes, you need to get your tail out to the Jamboree. It's only $5 to watch all these guys.
Yeah.
But like I said, if there's some reason that you can't get out, or you know you got a relative far away, they need to tune in and watch. I think it'd be a good deal.
Well, we've got fans. I've got fans all over California, Oregon, you name it, Berea, Kentucky. I mean, you name it. I've got them everywhere. But a lot of these people that they want to watch this brand of football. And they love it. I've been promoting it for quite some time. This will start my 16th year of doing high school football in this area, and we're awful excited. And you know, we talked about it. We could have bought a brand new camera. We could have bought a lot of different things. And I said, you know, if we're going to go, it's only the natural progression for us to take the event and go live. And so we will be live only on Friday nights, and it'll give people you know, an opportunity to see what we look like. If they don't have a team they're supporting or whatever, they can say, well, we'll pull up Murfreesboro. So anyway, we'll see you then. All right, Friday night. That's over at the Inferno over at Blackman High School. Now that first game is at 6 o'clock. So you can see 8 teams. So that's 6 o'clock will be one game, 7, 8, and then Coach Creasy will go off at 9. We'll see you there at the Inferno.